Pitch Report. I'm Mario.
And I'm Milcar.
And today we are recapping not one, but two San Diego FC games. And we are going around the pitch and honestly just catching up. How are you, Milcar?
Yeah, I'm doing good. We're actually recording in person for the first time in probably a couple months since I moved.
Feels like longer.
Mm-hmm. What did you say? The distance makes the heart grow fonder.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, it's been a while, but up in LA, and I was like, let's do it in person for a change, and maybe it'll be a little bit less laggy too. So better quality.
Yeah, at least for us, it's more fun.
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, man, I've been doing good. How have you been?
Good. Just finished this past long weekend celebrating my first anniversary a year ago, were a milk car actually was my bride. So a year ago today, you could have been the lucky one.
People are probably very confused by that statement.
Yes. We are very close, and I'm sure you can tell the chemistry between us, but it's strictly platonic.
Yeah. Yeah, but I pulled the prank on Mario where it was like the first look, and it was not Hannah, his fiance at the time. It was actually me in a dress for the first look. So
with the approval, it was my fiance's idea too, so she knew about this.
Oh, yes,
did not just go rogue on her wedding or on my wedding.
Yeah, that's a great disclaimer. That'd have been really weird if Hannah didn't know that was happening. That'd be slightly uncomfortable. Yeah. she walks out too. I was like, "What's going on?" Like, sorry.
Isn't that what it looks like?
Yeah. She's like, "The wedding's off, Mario."
Yeah. No, basically, Mokar, when I thought I was going to do the first look with my wife, and I get a tap on my shoulder, and I turn around expecting my wife, but it was actually a Mokar.
Yeah, those big muscular hands that just touch you like, it can't be Hannah.
Yeah. Not that muscular. No.
Oh,
Just kidding. No, we'll post a picture of it if all right with the Milcar on our Pitch Report Instagram _Pitch Report, so you can check out what could have been.
Yeah, we'll put some context in there for those people that didn't listen to this, because it might be a little bit weird for, hey, listen to our podcast. Why is this picture of this guy dressed in a dress?
So yeah, if you don't know what a Milcar ride looked like, a Milcar would be the one in the dress.
Yeah.
But do you want to go more recent or more? What's the opposite? Like
what, like latter?
Yeah, yeah.
That's probably not the right words, but yes. I think we should start with the. Let's go more recent. I think it's more literally recent, like a couple hours ago.
Yeah,
if that.
Yeah, maybe about an hour and a half ago. San Diego FC just unfortunately lost 1-0 at Seattle against the Sounders. It's looking like so far a lot of our matches where we've played two teams, it's been like a tale of two different results, basically, where one team wins one game and then the other one wins the other.
Well, last time with
the exception of LA Galaxy.
Yeah. Oh, you're talking about like the LA? Oh, I see what you're saying, like the home and away matches, basically.
Yeah, okay. The teams we played twice so far.
Is that how it's been?
I'm not for sure, but like my memories make me I think that like Colorado, they beat us and we beat them.
True.
Real Salt Lake, we beat them, they beat us. Have we played anyone else twice? Oh, LA Galaxy's been an exception so far. I'm hoping the pattern continues because we have Austin this upcoming weekend and they beat us. Our first loss, actually. Yeah. So I'm hopeful we can beat them in return. So hopefully it continues for a little bit. But on that note, we beat Seattle 3-0 at home, and now we just lost 1-0. Were you able to watch the game? I personally, full disclosure, did not watch the game. I was finishing up work, so I just caught it on the radio on my drive home.
Yeah, I watched probably like 70 minutes of it. I was in class. LOL. But I was watching like on one screen while I was very closely paying attention to what was going on. But yeah, I mean, there was a lot of good opportunities, a lot of really close ones that just didn't kind of pan out. Obviously, like we outshot Seattle, and just I guess again couldn't find like that final ball through. We did. I'm glad we kind of played our game still, which is like the possession, high press. But they got us with a counterattack, right, at the end of the day. And once that happened, they kind of sat back a little more, which I mean I think is what was going to happen. But they've been on a good spell. I mean, I think they started off pretty poorly the season, Seattle did. and they've had a good run here because they're like I think in 4th or 5th place right now. So, yeah, it's a little bit frustrating because like we were talking about, you know, we just watched the Padres lose too today in a very frustrating game too. But yeah, what do you think?
Yeah, I think kind of like you mentioned, like it on a lot of the like the stats, we were actually better. We just weren't able to really get the game away. Like we lost, but they didn't school us, and I guess neither San Diego FC nor you got schooled today. But I was trying to make that work. I don't know if it did, but basically, I felt like they were better than us from like listening to it for like maybe 10 minutes. They got their goal and then sat back, just like you mentioned. But other than that, we dominated possession. We dominated like passes. We had more shots on goal. So yeah, it just seemed like we weren't able to get like that Anders Dreyer back of the net or like that Irving Lozano, Luca de la Torre, like creative play. They kept mentioning in the game. I was listening to the Spanish broadcast. I usually try to. And they're like, oh, San Diego FC needs a number 9. And then they were even teasing like, oh, Chicharito's done well at MLS. So I was like, oh, that would be interesting. I think he's like definitely past his prime. But I do think he's someone that has been underappreciated for many years. And sometimes I forget how good he was. But I'm going on a tangent. Yeah, overall, not a terrible result, I would say, and hopefully we can just get a win when we go back to Austin or when Austin comes into San Diego.
Yeah, and at the end of the day, I think it was like a similar to the LA Galaxy game. Obviously, we ended up winning that one at the last second, but yeah, like I think it's hard to view San Diego in terms of stats because they generally do lead most categories because they play with so much possession. But because they play the high press, they play a high line too. So then if they get beat in the back is where that's kind of causes that, you know? So that's, I think, probably the most frustrating part. But like, I think we commented a couple games ago, they had 29 shots.
Yeah.
Like not all of them on goal, but they scored 2 goals out of 29 shots. Like the conversion is just not quite there. And I think that's what we've been kind of hitting on the head. And when I was at the game last week, like there was multiple people just saying like, oh, we're just like one striker away from like really being able to like have like a dominant team, you know? And I think that's what you end up like seeing. You're like, dude, like if we had someone that could consistently put the ball in the back of the net, like that would be what the final piece, you know?
Yeah. Cause so far it's been like a pretty even distribution of like the goals that a lot of players have scored for San Diego FC. I think we've seen more consistency in like the playmakers and the people that get the assists. Like Anders Dreyer's been a little bit of both, but yeah, we haven't had like the clear striker in certain ways.
Yeah, and I think also that will take a lot of pressure off Andres Dreyer and off Chucky Lozano to be a little more creative because right now they're kind of crashing on them when they get the ball right away because they're like the 2 main playmakers, right? But if you have someone in the middle that they can't leave off of, then they'll be a little more creative or maybe some more balls in. So, I mean, that's something that I think we could probably look forward to for next season. I'm here talking like this season's a wash already. Yeah. Like we lost 1 game, you know. Oh,
no, we're looking pretty good.
Yeah.
We'll see how the Vancouver game pans out, but at the moment we could still be in second place at the end of the day. Mm-hmm. So honestly, so far I would say we're having a pretty good start to franchise and season so far. So I'm hoping we can continue that this Saturday. I'm excited to see hometown kid Brandon Vasquez playing San Diego.
Talk about a striker that you know, puts in the back of the net.
Yeah, exactly. So it could be nice to see him. Just see him, not maybe score, but
no celebrations.
Like, looking forward to having like a Chula Vista kid playing in San Diego at the MLS level. I also just wanted to make a comment about the attire for like Mickey Varas. He always dresses like just like a super chill guy. Yeah. Like you would not think he's on his way to coach a soccer team. Like
he's wearing a t-shirt today, right?
Yeah, just wearing exactly. Wearing like a tan t-shirt. Honestly, I would say he's like the best model for San Diego FC. Whenever he's always wearing cool attire, I'm like, oh, it makes me want to buy that, you know? Like, and a lot of other coaches, I think they're more lax in MLS. But like in Europe, there's usually a little bit more. They're either more formal or wear like the team jackets with their initials. But like, oh, I want to get that white shirt. I want that black turtleneck, And he's always wearing cool San Diego FC, so he's like a really good ambassador for the team store, I would say.
Yeah, I think that, and also like I think it really does reflect the San Diego laid back culture.
Yeah.
So I think that might be also what he's playing into. He's also a pretty young coach, so it's like, I definitely think of like chill San Diego, chill guy, every time I see him.
Yeah, so I give him 10 out of 10 on his attire. But on to the better result earlier in the week. Yeah, I guess it was last weekend, but
Saturday.
Yeah.
I mean that was a way better game. Like Mario kind of mentioned it. SDFC won 2-1 against LA Galaxy. Last second goal, literally last second. Like I don't know that it could have been any more last second than it was. Was a Chucky Lozano goal assisted by Andres Dreyer, the 90+5 minute.
Yeah.
What did you think about that game?
Talk about a gut punch for LA Galaxy, which there were more of those. We'll get into that a little bit later. But 15 games without a win, that's pretty rough. But it was cool for San Diego FC to get like the rivalry win, like at least rivalry in the sense of proximity. To get an important goal. And Andres Dreyer, really good game. He had a good assist. I think it was an episode or two ago when I was mentioning that it'd be nice to see him like get a call up for Denmark. He only has 3 so far, and he actually got called up for Denmark. So it's really exciting, and you got to think some of it's got to be to his play. Like I don't know if like Denmark's having like injuries or what other considerations, but it'll be really cool, and I'm just super excited. I hope he can make it to the World Cup, assuming his team makes it. But overall in the game, it seemed like San Diego just played decently well.
Yeah, I think a big thing was, and like we've mentioned on the podcast a lot of the times, is like the first 5 or 10 minutes, like after a goal gets scored on you, right? Or after you score a goal, like how do you react? And this is like the perfect example of that. Like they scored in the 40th minute, and then immediately right behind that we scored, which kind of definitely helped the momentum kind of come back on our side. But ultimately, I mean, at the end of the day, that goal was a mistake by the defender of LA Galaxy that ended up kind of, I'm not going to say falling on our lap because we still have to do a good amount to score the goal. But had that mistake not happened, it would have been a tie, a frustrating tie. Because we would be sitting here talking about in a kind of similar tone to what we were talking about the Seattle game. It's like missed opportunities, missed chances, like what happened. But luckily we got that final ball at the end. Yeah,
especially against a rival that's been struggling at home. You do not want to, like, it'd be a loss or a tie that would feel like a loss. So totally agree with you on that point. I was going to say something else about the actual game, but I'm like completely blanking on it at the moment.
Well, honestly, like to your point about them struggling, like I think you're at this point where it's been 15 games. Like you just don't want to be that team that loses to them and gives them their first win. Like you just don't want to be that team,
Basically, like.
But it's a lot more pressure because like LA Galaxy, I mean, they're playing with like a ton of pressure, right? Because it's like MLS, like what was it? Worst start in MLS history. So that's crazy. But now it's like the pressure to not F up on the opponent's side.
Yeah, like you go from best to worst. Best because they won like the MLS Cup, but I'm actually Googling how they did last year because the Supporters Shield was what Miami got. So I wonder how they did regular season wise, if they actually got a lot of points.
Well, that's the interesting part with MLS, right? Because they do regular season standings, then a playoff, where most leagues outside of, I would eventually say all leagues. I guess Mexican League is also somewhat similar, right? They have like clausura, apertura, kind of a playoff. But most European, it's just like whoever has the most points, you just win the league.
Yeah.
Right?
Wow, they actually tied with the LAFC for 64 points, and it was the goal differential of 1.
Wow. Both LA teams.
Yeah, so they actually did pretty well off on the Western Conference. You could say they tied for first, and then it was just Miami that had the 74 points, and then Columbus Crew had 66. So those were the only 2 teams last year that had more points than them.
Yeah, but I think that's why Inter Miami was so upset that it wasn't just like whoever has the most points wins, And naturally they were upset about that because they ended up losing the playoffs. So.
Yeah, I mean, it was good enough to get them a spot in the Club World Cup, so we'll be able to see them. I'm going back to like the Seattle game, you said how they got off to a slow start, but they're playing a little bit better. For them, it comes at a good time, like right before like the Club World Cup. They'll be representing MLS, so hopefully I wish them luck now that we're not playing them the rest of the season. Maybe in the playoffs, but good luck in the summer, I guess.
Yeah, exactly. So we'll see how that goes. But then obviously with the Club World Cup, we also have like call-ups and things like that. And I was talking to Adrian about it, and it's because this is like the first season that I'm really, really like following MLS, and he was just bringing up like how interesting it is. How it's kind of like not super exciting when a player of yours gets called up, only because like you're now going to miss them for a bunch of games. And he was kind of brought up a good point. Is like, if they're a great player and they're going to have a lot of minutes, like by all means, like go do your thing. But it's like, if you have like a fringe player that maybe is like a good quality player on your team but maybe won't get so many minutes. And I hate to say it, maybe like Luca De La Torre, like he's not going to be a starter. Maybe he gets like some garbage time minutes. And that's kind of the example he used. He's like, that hurts us way more than it does help us in terms of like seeing him succeed and things like that, or helps him. So those are the frustrating ones that you're like, okay, now we're going to have to play, because it's a Gold Cup, right? So we're going to play probably 3-4 matches without him. And how is that going to affect us? And I've never actually had to think about that, because usually you just take international break and then you start over.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, international break, the only like real risk is like injury maybe. Of course. But yeah, that's a really good point. Luka, the exception would be that he's a hometown kid. I would love to see him like in the national team. I'd love to see him make the World Cup squad, but we definitely will miss him. Like especially those games where we were missing people from the international break. It was Aníbal Godoy. Lozano, I think, was injured at the time, and Patty McNair had been gone. We definitely felt like we weren't playing our style of football quite as much, and we were getting hit with the counters even more. Because Patty McNair also got called up again. Or did he not? No, he did. He did. The one Aníbal Godoy did not get called up this time. But yeah, so we'll see how the team can get through it. But I guess it's the importance of just having the depth throughout the season. But yeah, I think that kind of wraps it up for right now for the San Diego FC games. We'll play Austin, and then I don't know if we have a midweek game after that. But around the pitch, we're kind of like basically finishing up a lot of like the regular seasons in Europe. So yeah, what do you have for us?
Yeah, so I think this one, I'll definitely introduce this topic because I think you'll have a lot to say about this, more than I will in reality. But Tuca Ferretti. Tuca Ferretti had a big thing that was all over social media probably yesterday or today, one of the days, where he kind of like blew up on the Mexican Football Federation and basically just criticizing all the presidents, what they've been doing, how they've been ruining football. But like some of his things were like, you know, the last 48 years I've lived here, like it's just going down, down, down. Like you guys, like Mexico's going to be eliminated in the first round, like they were last World Cup. So like, just really curious as like obviously like a lifelong Mexico fan, how you react about that. Like, do you think there's truth to that? Do you think he has a point? Like, what are your thoughts on kind of just his whole rant and stuff?
It put a lot of things into perspective. I'm someone that tends to be pretty optimistic, and sometimes just like my passion and like love for the team makes me think, oh, but what if maybe miracles can happen kind of thing going into each World Cup. And it was honestly a very real wake-up call, because it is true. He said a lot of the things that a lot of people involved in like the like Mexican football ecosystem are not willing to say, are afraid to say. And ultimately, it's things that are very true. Like a lot of like the way that the system is structured in Mexico, it's broken. A lot, like shocker, but it's all based on making money, and it gives priority to that over anything. And it really hinders like the way it's structured for it to be economically like feasible to play with a lot of Mexican players. It's cheaper to give opportunities to foreign players. And Tuca Ferretti is actually like Mexican Brazilian. He's not even like he could say he's like, I'm not even like Mexican, and he like genuinely cares more than the president of the Mexican Football Federation, many other like people that are like full Mexican and like just grew up in Mexican football. And he's been here for a really long time, but it's really true. And I hope things like this bring more awareness and it creates change, but ultimately it'll kind of end up being like the way I've done it, where I don't really watch Liga MX anymore. it doesn't feel like genuine. It doesn't feel like entertaining, to be honest. And like the last few years, I've just really leaned more into like the Premier League. Like I love having like an FA Cup. I love like the competitiveness of it. And obviously there's a lot more money. Like there's a lot of money being made there. Now MLS, even baseball, I've leaned into a lot more. So it's just a sad reality. I think a lot of change would also mean a short-term pain as well to like really get a system that works. And this could be like a whole podcast on like a series of like a lot of things that are wrong. But yeah, currently the structure is much like a lot of teams in Mexico will give priority to foreign players. I think you can play with up to 9 players right now in Mexico that are like not like in that are, you can play with 9 foreign, so basically non-Mexican players. That means you get 2 spots that you're giving opportunities to Mexican players. One, where in a lot of leagues, I think you can play with 4 maybe. I'm not sure if you know like what in Spain what it might be, but there's like definitely like smaller caps. You have to play with people from like that country in that league. In most leagues. Mexico also doesn't have their relegation system where like the top teams go up and the bottom teams go down to the lower division, and then the top teams from the higher division go up. And there's like a criteria that's been established that what you need to have. Like you have to have a capacity for like 50,000 people in your stadium. A lot of things that are just roadblocks that teams just don't want to give up their share of the pie. They don't want to risk it. America, Chivas don't want to risk like that they, for whatever bad performance in the season, go down. Even when they did have relegation, it was like an aggregate of like your last 3 seasons. It was like such a like messed up like system that was totally skewed to favor like that big teams would have to like basically like tank for many years before they could realistically go down. And they try to sell like the Mexican public and just fans on like these excuses like, oh no, these teams just don't have the infrastructure to come up. Where like in the Europa League, we just saw a team in Norway, they had a capacity for 8,000 people. They're playing against Tottenham, like Manchester City, Manchester United in the FA Cup. They have to travel to these small like essentially amateur stadiums. It's like they went to like a high school field and had to like play there and get ready in those locker rooms, you know? So there's just a lot of like different elements that are not really helping the game. And there's a lot more to it, but Tuca Ferretti, I hope like his words can generate more of change. The last like big thing too, a lot of the Mexican Federation wants to control what players get called up, because essentially it's a really good market. It's really good exposure. If you're a Mexican club, you want your player to get called up to the Mexican national team because it gives you an exposure, and it's basically somewhere you can showcase him and then eventually sell him. That's one of the few Mexican players that maybe you do have playing, that is. So it's a lot of things. It's really hard to break through in like the academy system to like the first team as well, because usually Mexican teams rather get a young South American player that they can get for much cheaper than they can get a Mexican player, and then they can sell him abroad and make a bigger profit. And usually when they are willing to take a risk, quote unquote, on a Mexican player, he's much older. He's like 22, 23. Where in like a lot of the top leagues in Europe, like the youngest player or the players usually break into their like the top team in their teens, like 17, 18, 19. In Mexico, the average age is 22. So you kind of just see the difference. So yeah, I'll leave it there. I don't know if that made a lot of sense, but
not passionate at all about this.
Yeah,
this
yeah,
topic.
but it and Tuca's right, and part of me, and that's where I'm like conflicted. Obviously, I want a good World Cup. Obviously, I want the glory, but at the end of the day, it ends up being they put so many obstacles to win that are basically based on money and possibility for a few people to make money. There's something called the arreglo de caballeros, like the gentleman's agreement between the owners of the Mexican teams, where they have a lot of unspoken rules, things that they do to like basically favor each other. And So they do all of that so they can make their money. And then if we win, great. And then the bad thing is, if they do win, more credit to them. They win even more, you know?
Yeah.
So, and it's going to take losing. It's going to take bad results continuously probably to maybe generate an actual change. So, yeah, I guess we'll see what happens. Yeah, it's mixed feelings.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, it's like, I think it's something that you've heard, obviously, about the Mexican League for some time. So, and we touched on it a couple podcasts ago, a couple months ago, about like multi-club ownership. So there's a whole lot of things. Like you said, it's not something that can be fixed overnight. But like, yeah, that video was intense. He was like so passionate, like yelling, just like on like national TV, right, like on ESPN, basically, going off about it. And yeah, you just hope that like,
yeah, Tuca was like shaking. He like couldn't control it because he could feel like he like just felt so strongly about it. He's been criticized too for actually not playing a lot of young talent when he had his team. He had a lot of foreign players at Tigres. He had Gignac. He's like a French player, very, very good player. But at the same time, like the managers, the ownership makes him play certain people. So I also think to a degree he had his hands tied, and now that he's basically made it a big name for himself, he has a little more autonomy to say and speak his mind now that he's not part of a team but actually working for ESPN.
Yeah, well, I guess on a different topic, but speaking of not so young player, that for lack of better words, what do you think about this? So Cristiano Ronaldo hasn't renewed. I can't say is not renewing, but he has not renewed with Al Nassr yet. Apparently, there's a contract on the table. He just hasn't signed it, and he posted a very cryptic Instagram post, which very, very celebrity-esque of someone to do. He posted a picture of him with an Al Nassr like jersey or whatever, and he put, "This chapter is over. The story still being written." He hasn't won a major trophy in last 3 years since he's been there with Al Nassr, and he's not playing in the Champions League this next year, the AFC Champions League. So what do you think? You think he's gonna re-sign? Do you even care, I guess, where he goes? If so, if he doesn't re-sign, where do you think he should play?
Well, a couple of things. First of all, I think you did call Ronaldo old. He would say he's actually his anatomy is that of a maybe 33-year-old, 32-year-old.
That's a good point.
So he'd say he's still a young man. Yeah, I mean, the chapter's over. I would see it like, if someone texted you this,
it's over.
How would you read? I'd be like, okay, and then that means the story's still being written. I would say that as, I think it's over with Al Nassr, but he definitely intends to go play somewhere else. I hear there's a rumor that, I don't know how true it is, that Monterrey actually want to sign him for a month for the Club World Cup. It'd be a reunion with Sergio Ramos. So that would be my answer to who I would want to see him play with. I'd love to see him play Club World Cup for a month. But then after that, I've seen potential clubs like Sporting, because that's where he started when he was like younger. I see him staying in Europe. I think he's mentioned he wouldn't like do MLS. It'd be cool to see him in MLS. Like if he came to I think I heard LAFC is the potential one, just because they usually have the draw for the bigger European names. But I hope to see him in another World Cup just for the history of it at this point. And I also, if Mexico's not going to win a World Cup, I'd be happy to see Ronaldo get a World Cup. Where would you want him to go, or what do you think there's a chance that they stay together?
I mean, I don't know. The interesting part is usually you would say they're giving you $250 million a year. How would you say? Is that
how much he was making?
Close to 200, I think.
Oh my
a year.
gosh!
And so it's how do you say
never
no?
Mind, sign.
Yeah, right. I would never.
Yeah.
But now I think he's at the point where he's experienced it, and I guess it also probably does go a lot to show about the Saudi league. I think it's a lot about probably getting the players, getting the money and stuff, but maybe there's more to it, and now he's just I want to compete more, within more of a top league. So I would love to see him at Sporting. I think that'd be a super cool homecoming, and they're also a really good team in the Portuguese league. Would bring him back to Champions League football.
Yeah.
So that would be crazy to see if he's just kind of kept going with the records that already seem unbeatable in the Champions League at least.
Yeah, exactly. And 3 years, no major trophy. At that point, I know he loves the game, but he's just playing soccer games to play soccer games. He's someone that cares about the trophies. He cares about the glory. he likes the story, as we see like in his cryptic post.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think Sporting would be a really, really cool homecoming. Yeah. I'm personally a Porto fan, but I would maybe get a Ronaldo Sporting jersey.
I love it. He's also another thing to keep track of. He's 62 goals away from 1,000, which is kind of crazy to think that he would even do that. He's becoming like the LeBron James of soccer, just because age doesn't seem to be getting to him.
Wow. Is that like all time or just club or country?
Yeah.
Oh my God. Okay. Yeah. Realistically, 62.
Probably 2 years, honestly.
Yeah, maybe 2 years with like international like World Cup qualifiers, all that stuff. Yeah.
Yeah. So hopefully he gets there. That would be crazy.
Yeah. 48 of them maybe penalties, but
oh God. Oh gosh, I don't think so, but we'll see. But anyways, Mario, let's talk about.
We can skip it.
Yeah.
We can skip it.
Let's talk about 2 finals that we had the last couple of weeks.
Yeah, let's talk about it.
The one you're probably wanting us to skip is obviously your beloved Manchester United. Unfortunately, or I guess fortunately or unfortunately, their nightmare season ends. Or so we think. But they lost 1-0 to Tottenham. Tottenham ended what their 17-year drought of not winning any championships or any trophies. So how did that make you feel, Mario?
You know what? I felt like a fool watching the game because I had said, I think, an episode before. First of all, I was maybe a little like semi-confident. But I was like, you know what? The silver lining would be that Tottenham hasn't won and whatnot. Yeah. But when I was watching the game, we were losing 1-0. I was like, screw that, man. Like, win next year. Win something else. Not this year. Like, so I was, I think it was a little, blanking on the word right now, but just like Manchester United blinked. But I think it was a little naive of me to think I'd be like, oh, good for them. I mean, now that it's done, like, good for them. Good for Son. Good for, I guess. But for Manchester United, what it means, maybe we do need to just focus on one really good Premier League season. Mm-hmm. That way Amorim can really have more time to like implement his system and so we'll see what moves they make. Looks like we're getting the striker Cunha from Wolves. So yeah, we'll see. I guess you can only hopefully unless we get relegated, it can only get better. So.
Yeah, and luckily you're not getting relegated, but it might be because the people getting relegated had historically poor seasons, right?
Yeah.
So. Yeah,
and then you said, and it's the bad season's not over. Like now they went for their summer tour. They went to Malaysia, lost to like the
All-Star team,
the All-Star team,
right?
Yeah, 1-0.
It's just like rubbing it in your face,
Yeah,
gosh.
Yeah, it really is. But hey.
What are you gonna do at this point? Like, you can always just be like, all right, it's over. Let's move on. Manchester United is always gonna have. It's always gonna attract talent just because of the name. So even if you end up in 17th or 16th, whatever it is, they're always gonna attract talent. So you only hope that they blow some more money.
Yeah.
And hopefully sign some good quality players. But Chelsea, on the other hand, had a nice different approach to this. They won. I think it was yesterday. They won 4-1 against Real Betis, and they now have the opportunity to. I don't even think if it's actually the opportunity, but they can pick, I guess, to play in the Europa League because they won the Europa Conference League, or the Champions League because they finished 4th. So that's quite interesting. Like I said, don't know if that's actually true, but that's pretty interesting. And the fun fact that I had, I guess, jinxed last time was Real Betis being the first Spanish team to lose a final in 19 matches. So. EPL, man. I mean, outside of the Champions League, EPL looks like they're doing pretty well, man.
Yeah, well, I want to start that. I have a bone to pick with you and your fact, actually, because in the last episode you told me that, or maybe I just misheard you, but that no Spanish team had lost a final in I think this millennium, like in the 2000s. So I was at work last week talking about soccer with a friend of the pod, Florent, and a few other coworkers, and I mentioned this fact, and Florent was kind of like, and then he like pinged our group chat with all the people we watch soccer with. He's like, actually, Valencia lost to Bayern Munich in the 2001, I forgot what finals.
Oh my God, like 25 years ago? Like,
yeah. So I was like, I was humbled at work. So in front of my friends, I'm like, you embarrassed me. No, I'm just kidding. I'm kidding. But so today we were watching the first half of this game, and they're like, oh, Mario, they mentioned your fact.
Oh my gosh.
So they were trolling me a little bit.
Yeah. That's terrible. And I guess, I mean, the real disclaimer is technically Spanish teams have lost.
Yeah.
Like Atletico Madrid lost it, but they lost against Real Madrid. So like, it's losing against non-Spanish Spanish teams. The
non-Spanish teams.
Yeah. But I mean, it is what it is. It had to come to an end. And Chelsea, I mean, good for them. I think they had kind of an up and down season, so I'm glad they ended it on a positive. And then now they're going to go into Champions League football and hopefully play some significant games, and this will also hopefully help them with their recruiting strategies, and who knows who they'll have next year. And just because it seems like the transfer market's already starting now.
Yeah,
some players are just moving around.
Yeah, right away. Yeah, it'll be interesting. I will be bummed not watching, or I guess only watching Manchester United on weekends. But
well, you'll be so much more efficient at work now, Mario.
Yeah. I always am. What are you talking about?
I got one eye on one screen, one eye on the other one.
Well, they do have sometimes it's a midweek game. So
yeah.
Maybe I'll catch them on a Monday every now and then.
Hope your boss isn't listening to the podcast.
Yeah.
But anyways, you want to move to our final segment, your favorite segment that you've been carrying, or were carrying, I should say, for the longest time.
Our pitch of the week, yes. Well, you were my pitch of the week. I'm going to just basically your fact. I would say that, and also people that get into fights. Like there was a fight. Apparently, we weren't there that game. The San Diego FC versus LA Galaxy game. I just think it's kind of silly. Like most people, we don't make a living off these teams.
Yeah.
Even though we're fans and stuff, it's just and even if you did, it's not worth it getting into fights. But so those are my two pitches.
Yeah, my pitch of the week was also going to be the fans just fighting and stuff. It's come on, man, what are we doing here?
Yeah,
you know what I mean? It's just get it together. I did have another one. Oh yeah, my other one is actually interesting because it's only kind of come up recently, but there was a match where Erling Haaland celebrated a goal, taking a selfie with a fan and stuff like that, only for the goal to be called back by the VAR a minute or two later. So it's depending on who you follow there, pitch of the week, it's Erling Haaland celebrating too early, or the VAR, which I think for most people probably the VAR would be the pitch of the century, just because now it's taken away the genuine celebrations and the passion, because you're looking around waiting for that, and then once you get the go ahead, it's okay, well, you're not as excited to score the goal anymore, so maybe the VAR is the pitch of the week for me.
Yeah, sometimes technology just kind of ruins it also, or people don't want to show emotion, in basketball when people don't want to get dunked on because they don't want to what's it called,
posterized,
yeah,
or and then NFL you can't dunk on the goalpost anymore, so things like that.
Oh, really?
Really getting rid of some the fun aspects of sport. So
kind of unrelated, but you mentioned NFL celebrations. I hate it when the players are a few yards away and they start celebrating before they get into the end zone. And when sometimes they get the ball stripped or they let go of the ball early or something like that, I'm good. I'm glad that happened.
Yeah, that's a funny one. They just let go of it, and then it's oh, ball's on the 1 yard line. I'm that guy's not gonna play the next game.
I wonder how much they get chewed out. Actually, do they still?
You have to,
because in high school, coaches would chew me out for things, but
oh, I feel you have to, man.
Right?
Especially I mean, I guess it also depends on where in the game it was, how close it was. But if you just drop the ball, the worst part would be if you let go of the ball and then someone else grabbed it. Yeah. You know what I mean? That would be obviously the worst part. But a lot of the times it's video replay and they see it oh, ball's on the 1 yard line. But yeah, that's bad. But I guess it's similar to players getting yellow cards for taking their shirts off, and it's oh, maybe not now, but on the Champions League, it's oh, well, now you have accumulated yellow cards. You can't play the next match. It's how much of it do you have to balance celebrating, being passionate, but also being punished, by getting a yellow card, and balancing the team, but yourself,
Yeah, I maybe I'm just too anxious or something. But when they take their shirts off and just throw them, I'm wait, how are you gonna get that back? like the logistics of that. I'm like, wait, you're just like leaving it.
So practical.
Yeah, I'm like that makes no sense. Like it just feels unnatural.
Yeah, but I wonder like if you're going through it and you're thinking like, all right, we're good. Like the yellow cards are going to reset or something. Like if I score, I'm taking my shirt off. Or if it's just like spur of the moment. Hopefully I don't already have a yellow. Like fingers crossed, it's not just a red card. And I wonder if that's actually happened. If someone's gotten a red, like 2 yellows, which got a red because of a shirt being taken off. That'd be
like you're just so in the moment that you don't think
you like
about
forget
it.
that you had a yellow card.
Yeah. This has been a long pitch of the week, but how would you celebrate a goal? Like,
I don't know. I feel like I would have like a low key celebration. I always liked like for me like a football fan like LaDainian Tomlinson. He would just like little thing. He just go back like, and I always remember like announcers saying like he does something chill because like he's like I'll be back. It's not a big deal. Like I don't have to do anything crazy, But then you have something like as like I don't know. I don't want to say like the word's probably not right, but like changing like the culture like. Ronaldo's like Sue, like that's like transcended sports, like media, like everything. And so like having a celebration, which is so simple, but like it's just being shared across the world in different sports and everything, really.
Yeah, I actually did the Ronaldo celebration during the Europa League game. Like before, I brought a Ronaldo Manchester United jersey to work to put on during lunch when we watched like part of the game. And I did that to my coworker, even though he doesn't play for them anymore.
Yeah.
But I also like the is it Keenan Allen that does the guitar? No, it's not the guitar. They like the air guitar. It's former Chargers running back as well. Just left like 2 years ago.
Oh, I know who you're talking about. I'm like, he plays for Washington now.
Yeah.
But yeah, like the rock and roll guitar. Yeah. I know what you're talking about.
I like that one too. But I like the when they just slide on the grass. That's probably what I would do.
Oh, like the knee slide?
Yeah.
It's classic.
It looks fun, especially like that pitch is watered. Like I've never played in grass that nice. It's not. You're gonna burn yourself if you try that. So I would do that probably.
I just remember seeing the commercials of like I don't know if it was during the World Cup, but they did the knee slide and they go outside the stadium and they just kind of keep going. The knee just goes forever.
Yeah. I think it's a Geico one actually.
Oh, is it really?
I think so.
Amazing. Yeah. Not naturally. That's why I like
it. But all right, I think we can call it there. We will be back at some point next week. We'll be. Oh my gosh, we didn't even talk about the Champions League final.
Oh yeah.
Well, okay. Add 40 more minutes to the pod. No, we will be back. We don't know if we'll be talking before the Champions League final or after, depending on how the game goes. We might have Florent, who might or might not be willing to join us to talk about PSG. But that's it for now. Thank you for listening. Bye.
Bye.